Hey gut feeler, if you're dealing with LPR, acid reflux, GERD, even gastritis, you might have been prescribed medication. This video is about sharing which medications currently exist, which are often prescribed, the 5 different ones: PPIs, proton pump inhibitors, H2 blockers like Zantac or Pepcid, antacids like Melox or Tums. Then we have Alginates and Prokinetics like domperidone and Reglan. If you're taking any of these medications, this video is for you. And we're also going to discuss better natural alternatives that actually focus on the root cause and don't come with the massive side effects that most reflux medication come with. Medical disclaimer: if you're taking any medications over the counter or prescription, please talk to your doctor first before stopping them or changing the dosage. What we share here in this video is educational and just a recommendation to start the conversation and open up to more information about learning more about your body and about the options that you can then discuss with your doctor or your alternative medicine practitioner, your naturopath, whatever professional you're seeing for your reflux symptoms. Sounds like a good idea? Then let's get started. I'm also going to juice it up with some client stories from my one-on-one practice. You're going to hear about Emily and Jack, who both have been on reflux medication for several years, and what protocols and things we did to get off the medication and actually start addressing the root cause so they got better. Let's get started with number 1, the PPIs, the proton pump inhibitors. What they do is they shut down completely your acid production for an extended amount of time, mostly 24 hours or more. And how that works is you have cells in your stomach that are secreting the stomach acid. And those cells have proton pumps, and the PPIs worked to block them, so there is no more stomach acid being produced. This was a medication that my client Emily also took. We started working together last year. She was then 42, now she's 43, busy mom, works in marketing executive, so high stress job, always on the go, never really had time. It was very hard to find any time to meet for our appointments, but we did. And when we met, she was 4 years on Omeprazole, which is a PPI. And while in the beginning she got better, which is often the case, and often shows you that stuff is not working. It's a side note that if you're taking medication and it's like from one day to the next you feel amazing, it's often not real healing, because the body, if it heals, it takes time to heal. So it's more a gradual process, or you might even feel worse in the beginning, which was the case for Emily when we, in conjunction with her doctor, were lowering the omeprazole. The PPIs literally bite us in our back, because this is very often this rebound effect, right? You manipulate the stomach cells for such a long time, and then the body is like kind of breathing out after all this pressure and produces more acid, which then, because the whole digestive upper tract was so inflamed, causes issues. So in the beginning it was really like, whoa, are we going to amp up the omeprazole again? Or, that is what we did, we were using the alternatives, we did celery juice, 16 ounces in the morning. I talk about that a lot on the channel. I'm going to link your video as well up here. We did a milk thistle tincture, alcohol-free and natural, 100% organic. Milk thistle is amazing for the liver, and the liver really, here, your big, large organ in your right upper rib cage, 1.5 kilos, 3 pounds, plays a massive, massive role when it comes to digestion and reflux. It's often overburdened, lots of toxins, very sluggish, doesn't produce enough bile, which is essential to break down foods in your digestive system later on in the small intestine. And of course, the stress also hits the liver. So we're strengthening the liver while also supporting the stomach acid production with the celery juice and balancing the digestive juices there again in the stomach. And we worked on her stress levels, because she was just running around eating in between the busy work schedule and then the kids at home. So we installed this little ritual with box breathing, that she was calming down her nervous system before she puts anything in her mouth. And when she was not able to do that, she was just drinking liquids to make it easier for the stomach. Now, before we come to the next word, the last thing I wanted to mention here for the PPIs, and in Emily's case, she did a gut test for detecting healthy stomach acid, and it actually showed that she's low in healthy stomach acid, while her doctor was telling her, you have too much acid, we need to block it out. This is very, very common when it comes to reflux patients that I get, and which actually makes the situation worse. Because when she was still on omeprazole for those 4 years, after she got initially better, she got severe bloating to the point where she felt like, oh my God, shame, body shame, more stress. She was very fatigued, had brain fog, trouble focusing, and also had several food intolerances. So when we started working together, it was not easy to maneuver all those symptoms and actually see a clear line between all these side effects from the medication, even to healthy foods like celery juice. Celery juice was not easy in the beginning for her. So if that's the case for you, don't be discouraged. I also have a video where I share alternatives to celery juice so you can ease into the process. Some side effects, and that were severe ones that we noticed from the testing that we did in the beginning, is that through these long-term medications, he had severe vitamin and mineral deficiencies, especially B12, calcium, magnesium, zinc were very low. And as I already mentioned, we had this rebound effect, which really made it not easy to get off the PPIs because they were like a drug for her. Even if she didn't feel completely good, but at least the acid wasn't coming up, but it was making things long-term worse and not addressing the real root cause, which are 3 things most often. And stress is the 4th one, but on a physical level, we have low stomach acid, not enough good stomach acid, overburdened liver, pathogens, toxins, overgrowing in your stomach. Those are the 3-4 most common ones. I'm also going to talk about them in this video. Now, I know I'm talking a lot, so I would love to hear from you. Let's take a moment to breathe. I'm not going to put more stress on you, not stimulating your mind too much. I like to give myself a little head massage in between. So what I would love to hear from you, take a moment to pause and let me know in the comments, what's the medication you are taking currently for your reflux, and what did you notice? Do you relate to already something that I shared, or maybe you have noticed other symptoms? Share it with us in the comments below. Now let's talk about the second one, the H2 blockers. What does that mean? Well, they also work in blocking your stomach acid, but a little bit different than the PPIs. In this case, they block the receptors for histamine in your stomach. Histamine is released from the body as a signal for healthy stomach acid to be released so you can break down foods, especially proteins, into amino acids. Those H2 blockers like Pepcid or Zantac, they work a little bit less long than PPIs, like 6 to 12 hours. And just like the PPIs, they can also cause this rebound effect, which makes it harder to get off them. Now, some alternatives that you can use, and they also work for the PPIs, is aloe vera. Aloe vera juice. I love that for reflux clients because it really coats the esophagus and the mouth and the stomach lining with healthy healing liquid. If you have the real plant and you have the inner gel, it's almost like biting on a snail. It's a bit, but it works, and you can just drink the gel if you're not into snail biting. And what that does is it soothes the esophagus and also heals your gut lining. So any wounds from medication, from the pathogenic acid that can sometimes burn holes into the stomach that are then develop as ulcers, is a really good alternative. I also have a video on stomach ulcers if you want to look. I'll link that up here. And also you have all the follow-up videos in the description below. 2 more supporters here that I want to mention for the H2 blockers, also works for the PPIs, is marshmallow root and slippery elm. You can have that as a tea or as a capsule, which is amazing for your liver. It really supports your liver health. Also great for your stomach, healing, soothing, and addressing the root causes of acid reflux without causing you side effects and without damaging your body. Third group of medications, this is very, very popular, so have likely heard of them or even tried them out, antacids. Like Tums, Malox, there are lots of names for them because they're very popular all over the world. But this time they neutralize the stomach acid rather than inhibiting its production. And they work short term, like 30 minutes to 2 hours max. And those guys can cause severe magnesium and calcium deficiency. This was the main medication that my other one-on-one client that I want to share his story. In our first session, he told me that he was taking Tums like candy and wasn't even realizing that sometimes he was taking up to 10 10 of those antacids per day. Now, Jack was really like very career driven, 55 years old when we met, CEO of a company, lots of business dinners. He loves steak and wine, which is very hard on your liver and on your digestion, as you might know. And he had severe heartburn, chronic heartburn, chest pain. He was several times in the emergency thinking he has a heart attack, coughing up mucus, coughing at night, and could barely sleep. So he was also taking sleep medication, which didn't make anything better because, of course, they also come with side effects. The reason why he came to me was not actually those symptoms, but it was like a shocking moment for him when he did a bone density test for detecting early osteoporosis, and it was positive. He was so massively depleted of minerals like magnesium and calcium that he developed an early osteoporosis. I mean, 55 years old, that's very early. And that really was his wake-up call. That was the whole reason why we met in the first place. And what we did as alternatives, of course, we also, just like with Emily, started reducing the stress, which wasn't easy for him to get to. And of course, we changed a little bit the diet, although then again, he really loved the steak and the wine. And the dinners was like part of his work. So we negotiated a bit a softer approach to that. But in addition, we changed his routine. After talking to his doctor, again, disclaimer, this is all educational for you. He swapped the Tums for fennel seeds, which he was chewing before he ate a meal, especially if there was animal protein involved. Also, he did the celery juice every morning. He didn't like the taste at first, but at some point he got onto it, and even his wife, we got her on the wagon as well, and she lost some weight. So I had 2 happy gut feelers in the house. We also did lemon juice as a way to stimulate the stomach acid production. After a while, we healed first the stomach lining a little bit more and the esophagus with aloe vera, and then went on to the lemon juice shots before lunch and before dinner. So we did it twice per day. Just 1 lemon pressed in a little bit of water, more water if necessary, half an hour, 15 minutes before his meal. And we transitioned long-term into magnesium supplements, magnesium glycinate, a little bit of malate. Important, magnesium is not just magnesium, you really need to know what you're taking there. Also have a magnesium video. Most of the magnesium supplements out there, not good, not effective, waste of money. But magnesium glycinate really helped him sleep and relax after the stressful day instead of drinking the alcohol and just passing out in the bed. Now with Jack, it took a little bit more time than with Emily. I think Emily was like 3.5 months until she could really stop the medication in conjunction with her doctor. And then with Jack, it was like half a year, 7 months until he got really off the Tums. And now sleeps way, way better, sleeps through the night. Of course, sometimes when there are stressful moments, there's still some sleep disruption, but nothing like before. Now, if you're a little bit overwhelmed, you're like, oh my God, there's so many things I could do, but what should I eat? When should I take those supplements? I have created for you a 1-week stomach healing challenge. This is actually how Jack found me for the one-on-one consulting, because he was first doing the 1-week stomach healing challenge, which gives you detailed meal protocol, shopping list, delicious recipes which are simple, not takes you hours in the kitchen, and really gives you this healing protocol step by step. Take this first to this, tuning into your gut feelings, obviously always. So sometimes you can implement all of this in 1 week, and if not, you just implement it over time, but you have this reference guide where you can always come back to. I'll link that in the description below for you to check out. Number 4, the alginates. Though from all of those 5, the alginates are probably the best solution. While they do not address the root cause at all, they also don't massively, I'm not saying they're not interfere, but they don't massively interfere with your stomach acid production and messing up your inner biochemistry. What they do is this basically creates like a raft, you can imagine, that is swimming on the content of your stomach, just like a gel-like thing, like a little boat, you could say, that blocks the stomach acid to coming back up through the esophagus. And this protective barrier lasts between also short-term 4 to 8 hours. So it's a little bit longer like the antacids, but again, it's only a temporary fix and doesn't really focus on the root cause. Things you can take instead of alginates are manuka honey before bed, ideally. It helps heal the throat, and it also focuses on if you have, and you likely do, any pathogenic bacteria like H. pylori, viruses, then streptococcus, whatever you got there in your stomach. Manuka honey is addressing that root cause as well. And of course, it's super healthy. Honey has so many amino acids, vitamins, full of nutrition. I like to call it golden sunlight that you're eating. Although I'm eating plant-based, and this is not technically a vegan food, but I really, really, really love honey. And for this focused medicinal purpose, Manuka honey is the one to go. And the second one I mentioned, I just got it from my bedroom here, because those I take when I'm traveling. These little ones. This is pure licorice root extract dried, so there's no sugar in there. I take that when I'm on a plane if I don't want to get sick or I feel a little bit like a sore throat. This is antiviral, antibacterial, and also helps to strengthen the esophagus and address the root cause. Licorice root is really good for your liver. Again, antiviral, antibacterial, and can also help in conjunction with your doctor, once you ask him, as a substitute or an alternative to try out for alginate medication. Now, last but not least, the Prokinetics. Don, Reglan, many names for it. What they do is they force, and I'm saying forcing because that's what they do, they force your stomach emptying quicker, so the stomach acid doesn't have a chance to come up your esophagus. Sounds like a cool idea. You're like, yeah, it just speeds up the digestion, right? No, well, not really. Because one of the major problems, and there are several, with Prokinetics is that they can create neurological side effects and dependencies. Because when you mess with the body in that strong way, this is really messing with the whole biochemistry here, with the nerve signaling in your stomach. Your stomach naturally has this rhythm where it massages the foods, you could say, to break it up mechanically into smaller parts. Apart from the enzyme and the chemical reactions that are happening there, this one works on your gut motility. And the thing is, again, once you don't take them anymore, there's a sluggishness, like your nervous system is like, oh. And then it doesn't work, and it's very hard to get off them. Another side effect, of course, is if the food stays shorter amounts in your stomach, it likely doesn't get broken down enough. So you already have low stomach acid, then you take the Prokinetics. So what happens then to the protein you eat? And with protein, I don't just mean steak, I mean lentils, anything. Your body needs protein, but even more easy absorbable proteins do not get broken down. And then you have nutrition deficiency, and they start rotting, like putrefying in your gut later on, which creates all kinds of issues. For example, inflammation, this leaky gut syndrome, which really is a permeability of the gas of ammonia, which is a neurotoxin inflaming your whole nervous system, your vagus nerve, and then you got more and more issues building up. A few things that you can try out for Prokinetics alternatives are physical massage, gentle belly massage, right? That's what the Prokinetics do anyway. Just if you do it physically, it doesn't have this neurologically damaging effect. That's actually good for you because you connect with your body and you recreate this connection and support your digestion in a natural way. Chamomile tea is also really good. Chamomile and ginger are really good to support the gut motility. I do like to chew raw ginger. However, if your esophagus is very sensitive because it's inflamed, start with ginger tea. Ginger chamomile tea. Another one, magnesium supplements. If you're constipated, go for healthy. Please not magnesium oxide and citrate. Healthy magnesium supplements. I have a magnesium supplement video which I highly encourage you to watch if that's relevant for you. So you can help your stomach move things naturally through your digestive system, and you actually address the root cause of reflux, GERD, LPR, and gastritis. Gut feeler at the end. I hope this was helpful to you. Let me know, share with us in the comments below, what are the reflux medications that you are taking and what did you notice in your body? And if you want to check out the 1-week stomach healing challenge, I also linked that up here. And here's the next video for you to watch now.